Welcome to Dimensional Shift, where we explore and actively deprogram ourselves, seek the truth of reality through expanding our perceptions, and focus on full remembrance of our true selves. As we begin to connect to our true selves, we will also see the truth of this illusory reality and the way it controls us through our manipulated perceptions. As soon as we fully remember our true selves, we will also see the enemy for what it is and how to rebalance the system by freeing ourselves and assisting others to do the same, creating a domino effect into the evolution of human consciousness. Welcome back to Dimensional Shift for Starseeds. I actually wasn't planning on doing a podcast episode this week. I've been going through a really intense disillusionment, kind of waking up to new aspects of the Matrix, new levels of how we're so enmeshed in this that it's impossible to see despite the fact that it's laid out right in front of our eyes. And I really needed to rest, recenter, kind of refocus and reframe my message, decide where I would be going next with all of this. But often I don't get a choice in how all of this, let me rephrase that. Often I have to make a choice on whether to keep moving forward and to keep pushing, researching and keep exploring those new levels, or to move into stagnancy and decay. And so I have decided to go ahead and record this week, despite the fact that it's noon on Sunday and this thing comes out in like 12 hours. So I have to get busy recording and editing and creating all of the media that you guys see. So if this episode's a little bit shorter, that's why that is so. So I'll go in a little bit into my story about what's been going on this week to 10 days. And then at the end, I'm going to tell you 3 things you can do to help if you're also going through some of this pushback that we've been experiencing. A couple of weeks ago, I was introduced to a couple of people that really started widening my view of this planet and the universe and beyond that even. And I had a really big disillusionment, and I really felt like the rug was swept out from under me. And at first, it was really, really exciting. It was really new. I could see things as they are. And for a while, the momentum kept going. But then I started getting a lot of pushback. And when I say pushback, I mean pushback from the powers that be, however you want to call it. Some people say the archons, some people say agents, whatever you want to say for the powers that are keeping us here, right? First, it was little stuff like rationalizing getting that cup of coffee or justifying why I'm allowed to be grouchy right now. Things like that. Things that I had moved past at the start of the disillusionment were coming back in, pushing in, coming back full cycle. And I have a couple of theories on why this happens. Number one, obviously, they want to push you back down into the illusion. The energies this past week especially have been extremely intense. If you're aware of that kind of thing, if you're able to tap into kind of the collective energy, has been extremely intense. The intensity has kind of split the momentum between, are you really going to move up or are you going to be swallowed back down? There is no right or wrong because our paths are our own. But once you're aware of the agenda behind that, it's really hard to justify doing the things that you know are going to keep you held back. The other theory is that they're putting this pressure on people who are awakening, who are more aware, who are reaching these new levels, and the people around us are getting the fallback from that in an unconscious way. So for example, the pressure is aimed at us, but everybody's feeling it. And part of that is so that we have those things to react to and to give us that test of, are we going to react or respond? Are we going to choose to act in love, or are we going to choose to go back to fear kind of thing? So part of that is they're being puppeted. And part of that is they're just bystanders who are feeling the energy, don't understand it, don't understand why they're feeling more emotionally dysregulated, all of that. But it's almost like we're underwater in a deep sea. We're all bubbles. Some of us are expanding and they're trying to shake out the bigger bubbles, or they're trying to make them pop, whatever you take that to be, whether that's back into the illusion or something else, or they're trying to put that pressure back on to shrink them back down. I think, though, that my going theory right now is that they're just trying to make us check back out. They want us to turn back to chemicals that keep us juiced up or checked out. They want to suck us back into the drama and trauma of TV and politics and all of those types of things. They want us to go back into the illusion that they have crafted so well around us. So I have a few things that you can do that will help. These are good in general, but I think right now that these are really going to be extra helpful because not only are they going to allow you to keep awakening, but they're going to start moving the collective mission forward. So the most important thing you can do right now is connect with others. It's vitally important that we start connecting to each other in really meaningful ways. This isn't just getting on Reddit and posting your thoughts in a comment on somebody's post. This goes beyond that. This is true connection where you sit down and you have deep, meaningful conversations with people to expand your worldview and to expand their worldview. Because we are clues for each other. The data is going to be incomplete until we start exchanging the data and putting all the puzzle pieces together to create the big, meaningful picture. And only together are we going to be able to disillusion the collective. It's not one person leading a mass movement. It's the mass leading a mass movement. It's leaders coming together to shift the collective into what one of my new friends called the mass restoration. And I absolutely love this word because it is not about moving into anything. It's about coming back to who we actually are at our core and remembering that. And I think that's something that has been injected into this spiritual community, into the starseed community, is that we have to transcend and that we have to hustle and move and make it happen. When in actuality, all we have to do is remember who we are. So it's really important right now that we connect with each other and start exchanging the data. It's vital to the mission. Now, if you're looking for some people who want to have deep, meaningful conversations, a really great place to start is the Discord. We've got a really great core of people who have time and are willing to help people walk through the beginning stages, or if you're more advanced, to talk through some of the deeper topics. The second thing you can do that will be really, really helpful is to question everything you consume. Now, this doesn't just mean things that you physically put in your body like food and drink or substances, although it does include those. Think about your social media use, your news, whatever else you're taking in. Anything that requires a sense is a consumption, and it's the senses and the perceptions that are twisted. That is the illusion. But the funny thing is, and this is where it gets so hysterically insane, is that all of the lies have a grain of truth. So I don't like this podcast to get too political because I think that misses the point, but I'll bring up the vaccine just as a curiosity. I have flip-flopped on this subject so many times, it probably has given me whiplash, but it's interesting because it's the rhetoric around the vaccine that is the poison, right? It's not about the actual vaccine itself, it's about fear on either side. So find where the truth is, integrate that, and then find out where the illusion is and release that. You can do this for anything that you consume, any kind of senses that you use. Even if it's your third eye, which is a sense, right? Make sure you're finding the truth and make sure you're seeing the illusion for what it is. The last thing that you can start to do, and for some of you, you'll already be experienced with this. Others of you, it might be a new concept, but find your I am. When you meditate, the chatter in your mind is illusion. Only when you allow that to chatter on and start searching for the deeper observer within will you truly be able to find where your core is. A really great book that will help some of you that I learned to do this with is The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. I read somewhere that the chatter in your mind is kind of like the video game prompts in a game. It's meant to lead you through a certain path. It's meant to guide you into where they want you to go. Your inner observer, the person within you that observes those thoughts, that hears thoughts, however you want to phrase it, that is the person you want to connect to. That is your being. That is your I am. So interestingly enough, the message this week is don't fall for the sleight of hand. Don't let them distract you with one hand so they can perform the magic trick with the other. There's a lot of, quote, underhanded things going on right now. So just be careful how you're reacting to the things in this world. They're working very, very hard to pull us back under in whatever way that looks like for you. For some of us, this looks like trauma cycles coming back up. For some of us, this looks like access to things that we've had addictive issues with in the past. This can look like justifications and rationale for doing whatever it is that we want to do. Even, do I really want to get out of the matrix? Do I really want out? Is that what I want? Or is it easier to stay here and just be human? And that's a very slippery slope, friends. I've seen a lot of people talking on Reddit about what's the point if it's such a struggle to get out? What's the point of exiting if it's easier just to be human? And it really boils down to the fact that we are in a spiritual war, and giving up on yourself means you're giving up on everyone else who's counting on you. We need to dig deep for that compassion for ourselves and for others, and to keep fighting for that sovereignty and that freedom. If you found this episode helpful or insightful, please share it with a friend and leave a review or comment. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode. I host twice weekly open discussions on the podcast topic on our Discord server. If you'd like to join, head to dimensionalshifter.com/Discord. If you're on Reddit, come join the subreddit r/Dimensional Shifters or send me a DM. My username is Dimensional Shifter. Keep deprogramming, keep connecting, keep listening to your intuition. This is it. This is what we've been searching for our whole lives. Connection to our true selves.